state hyphen fair. That's metrotransit.org/state hyphen fair.
Heart health is more than just the physical well-being. It represents like a foundation of vitality, resilience, and the ability to live fully.
Your heart carries stories of resilience, love, and survival. Caring for your heart means honoring yourself and the generations before and after you. It means protecting your ability to gather, laugh, and be present. Learn more about your heart health at hennepincounty.gov/heart-beats, because your story matters and your heart beats for generations.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Brett Johnson. Look for partly cloudy skies tonight with a low around 62, Saturday sunny with a high near 79, and Sunday sunny with a high around 80. Mavericks Real Roast Beef in Roseville sets the standard for savory satisfaction. Experience the perfection of their Philly steak, turkey bacon, avocado, and more. Elevate your meal with freshly fried fries or onion rings. Visit mavericksbeef.com or visit them off Lexington and Roseville. Mavericks Real Roast Beef.
It's a good day to be indigenous.
Get up, stand up.
They are going to become more brutal.
Couldn't cut, hitting cut again.
Because all the hippies were trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
I am awake.
Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade. Hey, Kadagi to all my friends and relatives in four directions. You are listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. Hey, we discuss local, national, Native news and events, and as you know, Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues. Hey, we're going to lead off here with our producer, host, and young warrior, Misko, and then we're going to end up with State Senator Mary Kunesh, and then we're going to have the best of a segment that Wendy's done in the past here on our sacred animals. So Friday jam-packed here. I want to get my young relative here, Misko, on here. And first of all, you know, we're revving up for the fair, and a lot of things are happening, and you got a couple things to report on, so I really appreciate you and appreciate all your work. Take it away, Misko. Ho-wah.
Bonjour, Indinawe Maganiduk. Hello, all my relatives listening. I'm so grateful to be here and, share what I've learned throughout the week and also share upcoming events happening in Minnesota Native communities. I think the first thing I want to talk about is yesterday there was a panelist at the Minneapolis American Indian Center to talk about the protection of the sacred pipestone. I think it's southwestern Minnesota. If you weren't able to comment, because we're airing at 5 p.m., the public comment ended at 4:30. I recommend you to go and rewatch the live stream of the panel yesterday. There's so many inspirational and beautiful words that were said by the panelists. Some of the panelists include Gabrielle Strong, Iktomi Washde-Wia, Nick Tilson, and Fred DeCharlet. I only caught the tail end of it. I got off work late, wasn't able to go down, but thank goodness we have social media, we have radio, we have things to find out about what's happening. And so I recommend you to go listen to its Indigenous Protectors Movement on Facebook or on YouTube. And I just a few things that stood out to me, I wrote it down. But one of the closing questions were, what do you want our grandchildren generations from now to remember what we did to protect Pipestone? And, they went through each panelist and they gave their closing comments. And it's just really shows the worldview of Indigenous people and the lands. Another thing that really stood out to me when I was listening to the panel was that they need that we need permanent protections of Pipestone. So now we can ask them to postpone the reroute. We actually don't want them any pipeline at all near Pipestone or near any of the reservations because of the history of pipelines. And again, one thing that like really stood out, so the point I'm trying to get to is that we want to protect Pipestone, not temporarily, but permanently. And we want to protect it in ways like as Indigenous people, how we've protected eagle feathers and how, there's sacred protections around these things that are so important for us. One of the panelists shared a story of, there was someone who worked at a bank, and because they worked at a bank, they got a pipe from Pipestone for their years of working at the bank. But they're not native, and so they're using, the pipestone that is so sacred to our people. But they're not understanding, the sacredness of that item, and they probably just either put it on, their fireplace or throw it in a garbage. And I don't know. Again, I encourage everyone to go watch the panel. I learned a lot, and I'm pretty sure you can learn a lot too. And if you're non-native or if you're reconnecting, you'll learn a lot. Again, that's at Indigenous Protectors Movement, the panel they just had on August 20th. So that's one thing, that really I've been talking about and bringing up. Another thing that I want to bring up is the Circle. We will be at the State Fair on August 30th. And as well as Native Roots Radio will be there on the 27th, Thursday. So make sure you find us, follow the Circle on social medias, follow Native Roots, and we will, let you guys know where to find us. They're going to have a magazine. And I just want to, shout out another thing. PBS is having a new Nova film that highlights Indigenous science and traditional knowledge. It will be called Knowledge Keepers. It premieres Wednesday, September 23rd at 9 p.m. On PBS, and it will be on the streaming websites and apps. So make sure, again, things like this, highlighting Indigenous science and traditional knowledge. And this talks about the science that Indigenous people have known for generations, but it's not keeping us in the past. It's also talking about how our Indigenous science can lead us to the future. You can learn more things like this from the Circle on news.com. And I guess on a personal note, one more thing I want to talk about is this week has been, extremely busy for me. I'm moving. I have a lot going on. I'm really enjoying learning about what's happening in our community, what's happening, in Native country. But again, I got to learn what it's like to really work for a radio station and learn the board. And I just really want to emphasize and highlight that it's so important to use our voices. Before working here, I didn't think, a lot of I knew a lot of things were important, but I didn't understand my role within, feeling like my voice matters or feeling like it's important for me to want to learn these things. I'll see something on Facebook, I'll see something on social media and be like, that's wrong. And I know it's wrong. And I just assume everyone else thinks it's wrong too. But then you go on social media and there's people who are disagreeing. And I'm like, how are you going to disagree? Like, I don't know. For me, it's just being a good person to animals and the environment. And just working here really opened my eyes on I can be more educated and I can use my voice to advocate for things that need protection, such as pipelines, such as Native history, such as Native science. And I'm just grateful to be here to have these conversations with Robert and to hear all the guests talk about all these amazing things.
Yeah, we're really blessed to have you too, young warrior, Misko, our producer here, and it's really important for us here on Native Roots Radio to have a young person and also a woman voice on radio, because it's just there isn't a lot of that out there, and so we're going to try and change that there. And it's really important too that you're learning all these things from the radio station too, because not, as you know, and have been around, there's not many women that are doing this and are in this game, so to speak. Hey, I just want to also mention too, before we end here, is Native Roots Trading Post is going to be out at the West End Market All State Fair. So come on down and see me Thursday and Friday, and then also my daughters and their family will be running it, and I'll be coming back and forth, and it'll be great to see everybody on the 30th too. That really excited for that. This is a fun time of the year, but it's also kind of a weird time of the year, Misko, for me because I'm so used to being a former teacher that this was the mark of the end of summer and school. The state fair is the end of summer, and then we used to go back a week before the students, and the students start, the day after Labor Day here in Minnesota for the most part. So it's kind of fun, but it's also kind of like, oh, it's another moon passing.
And I don't know, one thing that's super interesting to me is I feel like we have so many New Year's. It's always time for new beginnings. We have American New Year, which is, January 1st, but we also have our traditional New Year's for like Native people and for Anishinaabe, that's the spring. And right now it feels like it's also a new beginning, going back to school, getting ready for the winter and preparing for those cold months.
That's right. Wow, great words. Thank you, Big Peeny Gigi. Hey, up next, State Senator Mary Kunesh, and then later on, the best of Wendy Pilot in our Sacred Animals section. This is Native Roots Radio, and we'll be right back. Thank you, Misko. Hoa.
Fair fun starts on Metro Transit. Instead of driving, park your car for free at one of 6 express bus sites and take a nonstop air-conditioned ride straight to the Minnesota State Fair. Or take one of the 3 regular bus routes that serve the fairgrounds. Learn more at metrotransit.org/state-fair. That's metrotransit.org/state-fair.
Hey, it's Robert Pilot from Native Roots Radio. For a meal that feeds your soul and health, check out Gatherings Cafe. Located in the renovated Minneapolis American Indian Center, Executive Chef Vernon Defoe and team serve up incredible indigenous flavors. Gatherings Cafe has amazing bison tacos featuring lean protein from native wise, corn tortillas, and homemade sides. It's fresh, local food rooted in ancestral knowledge. Stop by for breakfast or lunch. That's Gatherings Cafe, where tradition meets innovation.
Planning to ride Metro Transit? Starting Saturday, August 22nd, quarterly service changes will take effect on some bus and rail routes. These regular updates help Metro Transit match service to customer needs and make the best use of available resources. Before you travel, check to see if your route is affected. Updated schedules and a summary of all service changes are available now at metrotransit.org. Again, find those changes at metrotransit.org.
Hey, it's Robert Pilot from Native Roots Radio. The Minnesota State Fair is packed with 12 days of fun with food, rides, shows, and so much more. And right in the middle of it all, you'll find Indigenous voices making an impact. Visit with Native authors and mathematicians, watch drum groups, hear presentations, enjoy music, and see our stories uplifted across the fairgrounds. It's all included with your state fair admission. Tickets are just $17 through August 26th at mnstatefair.org. That's the Minnesota State Fair, August 27th through September 7th. Hey, welcome back to Native Roots Radio. This is Robert Pilot, and we have our friend, State Senator Mary Kunesh with us again. And it's great to see you, State Senator. Thank you so much for coming on Native Roots Radio.
Hamataki Ape. It's really good to be back. I'm sorry I missed last week, but it was busy down in Santa Fe.
Well, let's talk about that because, I get FOMO really easy. And there looked like a lot of things are going on there, but you were down there for business too.
Yeah, I was invited to a conference down there to talk about philanthropy in Indian country. And it was hosted by the Better Way Foundation, but there were all kinds of different organizations and funders that came to it to hear about the issues that, folks were most concerned about when it came to access to funding, grants, those sort of things. And it was just really fascinating because we had folks from all over the country there talking about it and sharing their needs and where the funding could go if only the funding was more equitable. The Brookings Institute just put out a really interesting article or study around funding and supporting Native Americans, Alaska Native, and our indigenous communities. And I'm sure it is a surprise to no one that the data shows that less than 1% of the total U.S. foundation and corporate philanthropic dollars explicitly benefit Native serving causes and organizations. And again, we are all very familiar with the underinvestment of not only our national government, but our state level governments. And we're looking for ways to make a change in that way, especially with the current federal government, clawing back money, taking away grants, just ignoring them, freezing them. And even if it isn't, again, explicitly to Indigenous communities or grants are made to organizations, it affects our communities one way or the other, especially around healthcare and education.
It's interesting too. I was at a thing with Tawahi where they were meeting some people just in the community that donated to that organization, and just talking about all the good stuff that happens. If there's a small grant or grant headed to a Native organization, on how many people it helps and how many generations it can help.
Yep. It really does make a very good difference, a big difference. And, I think we were talking about what happened here in Minnesota. So many people are curious to hear from a Minnesotan that experienced this past winter, and to hear it really, from the heart, and to say, I actually experienced that. And because of that, there are a lot of funders now that are a little nervous to give out dollars to Minnesota, but there are other funders that are, taking it more to mind. And, that underinvestment gap in that paper from the Brookings Institute, it also shared that only 88% of foundation and corporate funding goes to Native serving causes, and that's a drop. That's a drop in number and percentages. And
what's that percentage again?
It says 0.88%. Yeah,
Okay.
so not even 1%. Not even 1%. Goes to Indigenous communities. And it's usually just, a small handful of organizations or individuals that are handing it out. Sometimes there are a lot of strings attached. You have to have data, and the kind of data they want is, often like instant, huge growth, those sort of things. And it doesn't happen that way for a lot of our communities or the organizations, because once you get those dollars and you start investing them, it takes a little bit of time to show how that has a really positive effect. I mean, I think back when I was on the Tiwahe board, and those were direct grants right to the recipient. We made sure that the application was simple, not complicated. You don't have to jump through hoops. You don't have to, give your last 10 years of income or tax returns, but you have to tell us, why would you like these dollars? And sometimes it's for things as simple as my car needs new tires so I can get to school and work, to help me get over, to the Dakotas, to take my kids to ceremony. Of course, some of them are for art projects and education. There were just a lot of really simple, what I consider basic necessities of life, asking for a little help. And again, the really lovely thing is that we didn't require a huge report at the end of the day. We loved it when folks would come back and tell us what they did. Sometimes they weren't able to do it. Sometimes they received the dollars and life got in the way, and they weren't able to do what they had planned to do. But we needed to hear that too, because that really keeps us grounded in the struggle of these people. And also, if we have resources for folks that are still struggling in different ways, we would be able to help. So that was just a really fascinating conference. There were people from, like I said, all over the country. Kate Bean and her sister came down to talk about things. And then they had some really fun evening events. One night we went to this outdoor area, and the sous chef, Sean Sherman, had sent a couple of his recipes ahead, and an indigenous group down there prepared his recipes and served those to us. And he was there to talk about his new cookbook and what he's doing. So that was kind of exciting. What else did we do? We went out to this really cool, in the middle of nowhere outside of Santa Fe, to this place called the Shed Project, where this young indigenous couple prepare the food and serve the food in an old shed on his farm. And you literally sit on hay bales, and the table is made out of hay bales with plywood on top. He makes his own plates. They raise all the food themselves, and it was their recipes. It was just really cool. And you just think, the young people, the generation that is coming up with these incredible things that are good and healthy and happy. And it was fabulous. And then, of course, we had Indian Market was last weekend too. So holy cats, the beautiful, beautiful things that were there.
Yeah, well, geez, we'll have to talk about that next segment, because we're really getting close to, got about 3 minutes in this segment. But there was a lot of people down there at that time, and it was really, really exciting. And of course, you know me, I got FOMO, But I saw your sister was there too. What has she been up to?
Yeah, luckily for me, she has now decided to settle in Santa Fe and bought a place down there, really comfortable little place within walking distance of downtown. She has, I think last semester, she was teaching at the University of down in Albuquerque, teaching Indian law. But she keeps her fingers and hands and, her feet in the door in all kinds of different areas. It was lovely to be introduced to so many people that know her. And they've worked with her, and they know of her. And so because of that, I met just incredible, incredible people. Some folks that I won't ever forget. But yeah, it was lovely.
It's always cool to run into your sister, and she's been on the show many times, and she's worked in a couple of administrations.
Yep, she worked first for the Obama administration in agriculture, and then was it public health? And then she also worked for the Biden administration. Yeah. And had things gone differently, she probably would still be the chair of Indian gaming in the nation. That's kind of her expertise, gaming and gambling laws. But life moves us in different directions for different reasons, and I think she's going to find herself pretty happy down in that community. It's really lovely down there.
Yeah, it is. Hey, we are here with our friend, State Senator Mary Kunesh, and we're going to take a quick break. This is Native Roots Radio. It's always great to have the state senator on, catching up all the activities in Indian country and what she's doing. So, and she's doing a lot. So we really appreciate her. Hey, this is Native Roots Radio. We'll be right back. Hoa. Hey, this is Robert Pilot, host of Native Roots Radio. The Minnesota State Fair is more than food on a stick. It's a chance to celebrate Native culture and voices. On August 31st and September 1st, Native folk and blues rocker Keith Sokola and the Rangers, with special guest Gary Farmer, play the prize stage at 8 p.m. both nights. This concert is free with fair admission. The State Fair runs August 27th through September 7th. Get your tickets at mnstatefair.org.
Planning to ride Metro Transit? Starting Saturday, August 22nd, quarterly service changes will take effect on some bus and rail routes. These regular updates help Metro Transit match service to customer needs and make the best use of available resources. Before you travel, check to see if your route is affected. Updated schedules and a summary of all service changes are available now at metrotransit.org. Again, find those changes at metrotransit.org.
When we heal from our traumas,
when we face our fears,
let go of our addictions,
when we relearn our values,
when we live our teachings,
respecting our elders,
cherishing and honoring our children,
when we honor and take care of our spirit,
there will be no room left for sexual violence.
Sponsored by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
Culture prevents so many negative things from happening to us as individuals and as communities.
Strong roots begin with a healthy heart. For Indigenous women, heart health is part of caring for community, culture, and future generations. Even small steps can help protect what matters most. Discover ways to support your heart at hennepincounty.gov/hearts-beats, because your heart beats for generations. This is Robert Pilot. At the Great Minnesota Get-Together, Native Voices take center stage on Indigenous Peoples Day at Dan Patch Park, August 30th. A full day of programming showcases Indigenous peoples' interconnectedness through language, culture, art, and food. Enjoy theatrical performances, music, dance, and presentations along with more than 20 exhibitors from across the state. This is all free with fair admission. Tickets are just $17 at mnstatefair.org through August 26th. That's the Minnesota State Fair, August 27th through September 7th.
Fair fun starts on Metro Transit. Instead of driving, park your car for free at one of 6 express bus sites and take a nonstop air-conditioned ride straight to the Minnesota State Fair. Or take one of the 3 regular bus routes that serve the fairgrounds. Learn more at metrotransit.org/state-fair. That's metrotransit.org/state-fair.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Brett Johnson. Look for partly cloudy skies tonight with a low around 62, Saturday sunny with a high near 79, and Sunday sunny with a high around 80. Discover perfection at Maverick's Real Roast Beef in Roseville. From Philly steak to crispy chicken, every bite is exceptional. Add freshly fried fries or rings for a winning combo. Visit mavericksbeef.com or find them off Lexington and Roseville. Unforgettable sandwiches. Maverick's Real Roast Beef.
This is AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota.
Hi, this is Representative Sharice Davids from Kansas. I'm Ho Chunk, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot. Hey, welcome back, everyone. This is Robert Pilot, and we are here with our friend, State Senator Mary Kunesh from the great state of Minnesota, catching up on a really fun week, it looked like, well, and hard work, too, because there's always things in Native Indian country that we need to take care of, and it's glad that you were down there. What else? What else did you do down there?
Well, we visited the Santa Fe school down there. That was absolutely fascinating. It's the Santa Fe Indian School, and it was established after the 1800 wars, and of course established by the Bureau of Indian Affairs. It was a federal off reservation boarding school, and as we know with the boarding schools, the intent was to assimilate Native Americans, kill the white man, and kill the Indian and save the man mentality. And so the original building was built down in just outside of Santa Fe. And I think it was in 1892 they built it. And then it has continued all these years in the early 1920s, when the government decided and realized that it's too expensive to continue to do these kind of things. A lot of times they either turned them over to religious orders, or they turned them over to the local community to do that. And so this Indian school continued on through the years and serves, quite a few of the pueblos down there. I think they said it serves 11 different pueblos, and it is a boarding school. If kids want to come because of the remoteness of their pueblos, they can come and stay there. Is today the 21st?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it is. So today is their first day of school, actually. So they have built it up over the years. It's not a unhappy looking place. In fact, they invited us there during the lunch hour, and we had little breakout sessions with our conference, but they served us a lunch, and it was really, really delicious. They were very hospitable. And it was just you left there feeling good, because not only did we get to meet the superintendent and the principal and the administration, but there was a good feeling in that space. And they have a number of different buildings that are for specific reasons, their health department, some of the what we call shop and mechanics and carpentry. It was just felt like a little village unto itself. And they were talking about this project that they've been working on for this great big huge outdoor amphitheater. And they showed us the plans and how far they'd gotten, and it looks absolutely terrific, just really beautiful. I mean, it's the kind of place I can see people coming down for destination, like concerts and things like that. Yeah, it was really lovely.
Wow, that's cool. And then was it the gala, or what did they call it? Because I know people were really talking about the dress that you were wearing.
Yeah, well, so there's that conference, and at the same time, Indian Market was started up. The Southwest Indian Art Fair and Market was going on. And artisans from all over the country came, but mostly Southwest. And there were all kinds of different arts, textiles, beading, metalwork, statues. Just anything that you could think of was down there. And it was incredible. And this market has been going on again since the early 20s. I think I think they're coming up on a big anniversary, and it started really small, and has built it up to almost an international kind of situation. And then connected to it is something called the Gala. Well, it's in conjunction, they have the Southwest American Indian Association Native Fashion Week. And so there is a gala that was last Saturday where Native designers design their fashions and then have a big show for that. That was on, that was on Saturday. But then on Friday night, we had a little gala event. And I really owe Robert a big thank you, because I found a lovely, simple, long black dress at the Goodwill for like $5. And I remember finding it and telling my sister, I don't know if I need this, but I think I can do something with this. So when I found out that we were going to be able to go to the gala event, Robert very graciously allowed me to have his Resist logo put on the back of my dress, and then I trimmed it around the bottom of the dress, and then I found another place to screen print the rebel loon on it. And I added some ribbon and, had some jewelry of my own that I could use. And it was a splash. I'm not going to lie. I was really surprised. A lot of people came up and said, "Oh my gosh, is that the rebel loon?" And I said, "Yes, I'm from Minnesota." And
who designed that?
Yes. Yeah. I had a couple of people ask me, "Wow, that is really cool. Who designed that?" And I was like, "I did." I think I found a new line of work, Robert.
Yeah,
so yeah, we had just a really great time. Saw a lot of people again from all over. Some of the actors from our the different Native shows were there. The Bean sisters were there. Deb Holland and her sisters were there. It was really a kind of a sisters get together down there. Just had a lovely time. There was a fashion show. There was an auction. Man alive, some of those artists do the most incredible work. And when they get auctioned off, they go for a pretty penny, but it all goes back into the Southwest American Indian Art Association. So all for a good deal, but it felt a little surreal. We made some really good friends. The other thing is that Crystal Echohawk is starting up a new nonprofit, and she had a little event one morning, and that was also very lovely. It was mostly for women, and I met a lot of new Native women leaders and movers and shakers there. So I came back really feeling invigorated, really proud of what's going on in Indian country in so many ways. And hopefully, after this conference where a number of funders were invited to join, folks will start looking at Indian country as a really good place to invest and, see the positive outcomes that we all know are there and ready to be had.
Let me ask you about that, because about feeling prideful and invigorated. I feel that a lot of times when I go to a bigger powwow or a powwow, I see a lot of people that look like us that are doing their thing, and I feel connected and really proud to be Native. And I can imagine maybe you feel that's some of the thoughts and feelings you might have or had down there too.
Yeah, it's just, there were so many of us down there, like you said, that look like us and have the same, values and morals. There was one person that came to me and said, "Oh, you're a senator from Minnesota." And I said, "Yeah." He said, "I'm a relative from Standing Rock." And that, that really touched me deeply. We didn't grow up, on the reservation out there. We weren't raised like in the community, the Dakota community here in Minnesota. So like for me and my siblings, we've always, sort of struggled to find our connection. And of course we want to be accepted in our own community, but there are people that, kind of look at you like, "Oh, you don't look so Indian," or "You didn't do this," or "You weren't born, you didn't grow up in traditional ways." But I'm also always so thankful when somebody from my mother's tribe will come up to me and kind of claim me for their own, and that's just affirming. But it's very different, and I think about how we struggle to get teachers in school, diverse teachers in school, so that the kids see who you see somebody in that role that looks like them, that maybe speaks like them, that understands their their uniqueness. And boy, oh boy, if you ever want to feel that, go to Indian Market.
That's awesome. Hey, we got a minute left. We got the fair coming up here, and I don't know when you plan on being there, but Native Roots Radio is going to be live Thursday and Friday. It'd be great to see you down there. We'll have to talk about that. And of course, on Sunday, it's going to be Indigenous Peoples Day or Native Day at the State Fair, and a lot going on there.
What day?
Really
What day is that?
That's Sunday, the 30th.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So
yeah, I'm hosting the Midwest Council of State Legislators, 11 Midwest state legislators, and then 5 provinces, and we're bringing all of our people down to the state fair on Sunday. I want them to experience the Minnesota State Fair.
So on the 30th?
Yeah.
Oh, great. They'll really experience it. It's Native American Heritage Day. Right on.
I know, that's great.
Right on. Hey, thank you so much, State Senator, for checking in. We missed you last week, and it's always great to get a great update from you.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
Right on. Hey, this is Native Roots Radio. Up next, we got our Young Warrior segment with Misko. This is Native Roots Radio. We'll talk to you soon. We'll be right back.
Planning to ride Metro Transit? Starting Saturday, August 22nd, quarterly service changes will take effect on some bus and rail routes. These regular updates help Metro Transit match service to customer needs and make the best use of available resources. Before you travel, check to see if your route is affected. Updated schedules and a summary of all service changes are available now at metrotransit.org. Again, find those changes at metrotransit.org.
Hey, it's Robert Pilot from Native Roots Radio. For a meal that feeds your soul and health, check out Gatherings Cafe. Located in the renovative Minneapolis American Indian Center, Executive Chef Vernon Defoe and team serve up incredible indigenous flavors. Gatherings Cafe has amazing bison tacos featuring lean protein from native wise, corn tortillas, and homemade sides. It's fresh, local food rooted in ancestral knowledge. Stop by for breakfast or lunch. That's Gatherings Cafe, where tradition meets innovation.
Fair fun starts on Metro Transit. Instead of driving, park your car for free at one of 6 express bus sites and take a nonstop air-conditioned ride straight to the Minnesota State Fair. Or take one of the 3 regular bus routes that serve the fairgrounds. Learn more at metrotransit.org/state-fair. That's metrotransit.org/state-fair.
Maintaining our health, particularly our heart health, is very important to us as a family.
Your heart gives you time with family, time with community, time to pass down what matters. Protecting your heart helps keep those moments alive. A visit with a healthcare provider can be one step toward a healthier future. Learn more at hennepincounty.gov/hearts-beats. Your heart health is essential because your heart beats for generations.
In this portion of the show, we'd like to bring awareness to our wolf and bear populations throughout Turtle Island. Say no to the hunts.
Hey, welcome back. This is Native Roots Radio, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. Hey, I want to bring in Wendy Pilot. Wendy Pilot has been an animal advocate and been on Native Roots Radio for over 10 years, one of the original co-founders of Native Roots Radio, and I've learned so much over the years, and I know there's a lot going on here, so I'm going to hand it over to you right away, Wen.
Thanks, Robert. Hey, everybody. My name is Hanaji Hihani. That means cares for them, and I was given that name by my Dega Curtis. Curtis goes by Mashke Hanajinga, which means walks on white clouds. Yeah. I'm a humane policy volunteer for Humane World for Animals, formerly known as the Humane Society of the United States, and I work on animal issues at the
This is live, Wendy. We can't do it.
So everybody, so you know, I don't have that written down. It's in my head, and I've been saying the same thing over and over for years. So I don't know what just happened. Anyway, so everybody knows I've been so happy that the rest of the Ridgeland Farms dogs in Wisconsin are finally all being released. We got so many out. And there were around, actually 475 left, and they were just going to keep breeding, using the dogs for experimentations. But finally, negotiations happened with Big Dog Ranch Rescue in Florida and Ridgeland Farms. So all of the beagles are coming out, and I'm just so excited. I really am. Yes, yesterday on ABC News Live, there was almost a 3-minute report on this and what happened, and it just brought tears to my eyes, and I'm just so happy about it. I really am. The activists and protesters, that's me, and all the people who were involved were thanked on this news report, and it just brought tears to my eyes. And again, I'm so happy and grateful. And it's so funny because now today I'm really, really angry. I'm going to tell you why. So, I'm on social media and I see this big post from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Oh, God.
Yeah, exactly. And this is what it says. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Resources, thanks to the leadership of President Donald J. Trump and Secretary Kennedy, 475 beagles are being freed from the breeding facility that supplied dogs for animal testing. They will be now transferred to the cage-free, no-kill facility, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, what? I had to stop. I had to stop and look to make sure that I was not on a satire page. You know those satire pages? Because that's what
Onion.
That's exactly what I thought I was reading from. But no, it is from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. Okay, so now there's over 1.7 thousand replies, and replies on this website. And I mean, I went through, I didn't go through all 1,700
responses,
comments. I didn't,
comments.
But I scrolled through them, and everyone is like, you didn't do anything. Why are you taking credit for this? And people are mad. People are mad about this, and I don't blame them. I'm mad too. There's a couple, just like
I'm stunned.
Like a little bit of a handful of people like, yay, President Trump,
because they're not
Secretary.
paying attention.
Yeah, they don't know what's going on, and they're listening to fake news. So, yes, so there was 7.6 thousand thumbs up, and they were, on this website. So anyway, I just had to say, I was just really.
Is it okay if I put the laugh
yes.
button on one more time?
Yes, put the laugh button on. But really, they are really ridiculous. You have to laugh because really now they're taking credit of it. I want to tell you something though too. Congressman from Wisconsin, Mark Pocan, was right in front of RFK Jr. and said to him, talk to him about the Ridgeland beagles and what are you doing about it? And RFK said he didn't know anything about it and he didn't think it was true. So that's what he said. He didn't think it was true that there were beagles in this facility, over 2,000 of them. It wasn't true. And now they're taking credit for it. I want to tell you who deserves credit for this.
So I'll stay away from the laugh.
First,
the laugh
yeah,
button.
no. This is applause. So this is the applause button. Do you have one of those? I think you do, right? Awesome. Okay, this deserves applause. So first and foremost, Wayne Chung, he's the founder of the Simple Heart Initiative, and he organized both of the open rescue that happened in March and then in April. So Wayne, thank you so much. You went above and beyond. You got thousands of people on board and talking about this and sharing the information. So I want to thank you so much. Big Dog Ranch Rescue in Florida. And also, I want to, in that same sentence, the Center for Humane Economy, because they got their money together and negotiated with Ridgeland to get the dogs out. So I really want to say that. Congressman Mark Pocan, thank you. You stood by us and you supported us and talked about this, and you got into RFK's face and told him about this, and he didn't believe it. Who else here? Oh, Direct Action Everywhere, another organization. I want to thank Laura Trump. She's on the board of Big Dog Ranch Rescue, and she put a lot of money of her own money in to get these dogs out. So, and listen, all the activists, right? All the activists, the protesters, all the people
Wendy,
who went there.
I want to say thank you to you.
Okay, I appreciate that.
I saw you
played a very, very small role in. I was there, but it was a very small part. But I was just part of the
people that supported you too. I want to give them a shout out too. From this show, there was so many people reached out to help.
Seriously, people gave me money, and I bought all the supplies for the beagles because we really thought, honestly, that when we went there on April 18th, it was planned for April 19th, but we went a day ahead of time. So we went on, it was very sneaky. And we went on April 18th, but they were ready for us.
Yeah.
Dane County Sheriff. Yeah, Barrett, he had all his deputies there with ready with their bullets, their rubber bullets.
Tear gas.
And their tear gas and their what else? What's that other thing? Tear gas and pepper spray, and they had also tasers too.
Well, you got pepper sprayed and tear gas.
I know, it was really bad. I had to throw all my clothes out on that I had on. Anyway, yes, so they were ready for us, and I'm just happy that all of the news organizations and outlets in Wisconsin and elsewhere came in nationally to see what happened, and this became such a big story. It was nationwide. So you just see that if you think about something you're not happy about, you want to change it, you're the one that can do it. You could do it. You could join a small grassroots organization and you could just work hard. It doesn't happen overnight. Sometimes it takes years to make change, but you just don't stop and you just keep doing it. And again, all those people who gave me money, and I went out and I bought all the supplies for the beagles because we really thought, each and every one of us thought we were going to walk out with a beagle in our arms, and it didn't happen. But what happened was I donated all the supplies to the Dane County Humane Society, and they got some of the beagles. And you know what, Robert? I saw that one post, right, with one of the beagles playing with the lamb chop stuffed animal, and it brought tears to my eyes because I bought like 10 of those stuffed animals, and I'm just wondering if that was one of the animals I bought.
I'm sure it was.
It would have been.
I'm going to say yes.
Gosh, I'm going to say yes too.
Hey, Wendy, that's what all this action about here on Native Roots Radio is all about. We're activating people, go out and vote, and and do
stand up for what you believe in. Just if you are the change you want to make in the world.
Hey, we'll see everyone tomorrow. Big Peony Gigi Wendy. This has been Native Roots Radio. Ho!
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis Air. AIR stands for American